We're in 1982, an interrogation room. Robert Duggan is seated at a table. A bag containing letters is nearby. Major Wilder stands. He has a letter in his hand. Both of them are in uniform.
Is this your handwriting?
Yes.
I miss you so much. I live for the times we can snatch together. What does that mean?
We were friends.
Good friends?
Yes,
Intimate friends?
I suppose so.
Sharing a bed, doing the dirty friends?
No. Where did you get that letter?
It's not the only one. There were several in his locker.
Of all the stupid...
What did you say?
Nothing.
Let's start again.
Lights
Where
change.
did you meet him?
The lights change. Duggan steps out to the audience. He picks up a drink.
It was the Pig and Whistle, Saturday lunchtime. I don't know if you remember it. In a mews in Belgravia. Whitewash walls, beer garden, jam-packed on a nice warm day, or spilling on the street. It was one of those pubs, only gay one day a week, like the Markham in the King's Road.
Adam Fraser wanders in, obviously new, beer in hand.
He had the bluest eyes.
Fraser sees Duggan and smiles.
I was on holiday. I'd had a couple. I was bold. Portsmouth was a world away. Anyone who saw me in the Pig and Whistle from the commando, well, what was he doing there anyway? I was careful. I never went to the gay pub in Portsmouth.
He goes up to Fraser.
Looking for someone?
Maybe.
Anyone in particular?
That depends.
He was so relaxed, at ease within his skin, I would never have guessed.
Is it always this busy?
Later it will be dead. They'll all move on to the King's Road, to the Markham, or to Habitat for coffee, cake, and cruising. I don't know why I said that. I don't know how I dared. Adam gave me confidence. He looked so self-assured. It must have rubbed off onto me, some of it.
Where's Habitat? I don't know London well.
First time visitor?
Not a visitor, but not been here long.
Habitat's in the King's Road too.
Seems everything's in the King's Road. Everything you could want.
It is on a Saturday afternoon.
Will you be in the King's Road too?
I could be. I was falling deep into his eyes. I was starting to get hard. I hoped it didn't show through my tracksuit bottoms.
If I persuaded you?
He already had.
Fraser exits, taking Duggan's drink. Blackout, scene 3. Habitat coffee shop on the top floor of the store. A cloth-covered table with a flower in a vase. Fraser and Duggan are sat having coffee.
What do you do?
Do?
For a living. What did you think I meant?
I'm from Portsmouth.
Navy?
Sort of. How could I be so open? It went against all my instincts.
I'm a bandsman. Royal Green Jackets.
Not so loud.
It's no big deal these days.
How long have you been in the Black Mafia?
You know the Royals then?
How long?
9 months.
You have a lot to learn. Take my advice. Be very careful. People are still being thrown out for being gay.
All my colleagues know.
It only takes a quarrel for one to turn against you, or one to blackmail you into having sex, or one new squaddy not so understanding.
Fraser laughs. Duggan seizes his arm.
I'm serious. Take care. Protect your back. Never keep a diary. Never save a letter. Burn it if it's anything suggestive. If you tear it up, they can piece it together.
Is that what you do?
I never get letters.
Sad. Have you never had a boyfriend?
No. I loved a boy at school, but no.
I had a boyfriend. But when I joined the army, he left me. He was a pacifist and a bit of a hippie. Now he's married to a florist. I miss having a boyfriend.
Want another coffee?
Fraser shakes his head. Pause.
Want to come to Hyde Park with me? Or we could go in the bushes.
Are you crazy? Who was going on about risks? Let's go to your hotel.
They know me there.
Fraser leans forward and kisses his hand before Duggan can withdraw.
Let's go to another hotel.
Lights change. Duggan moves to the front, alone.
It was hopeless. I was helpless in the gaze of those melting eyes, in the feel of those moist red lips.
Scene 4, lights change. Interrogation room once more. Duggan sat at the table.
When was this?
Mrs. Thatcher had just got in, 1979, summer.
And nothing passed between you?
Nothing. I'm not homosexual. I felt dreadful saying that, like pissing on his grave.
So you're not queer?
No,
Just happen to be in a haunt of queers?
I'm not queer.
Maybe you just help them out when they're short-handed.
It wasn't a gay pub.
On a Saturday, it was.
Pause. Wilder gets another letter from the bag.
This is dated 1981, 2 years later.
We kept in touch.
Where are his letters?
What?
His letters to you, where are they? We searched your locker, nothing. A bit one-sided, was it? Older man, younger man, taking you for a ride.
I never keep letters. They don't seem important.
Another letter. This one's dated Christmas 1980. My dearest Adam, I'm sitting alone in my room writing this. Granny is downstairs making pigs in blankets for tomorrow. I don't know why. We have far too much food anyway, for the two of us. Tradition, I suppose, we have to have pigs in blankets. I keep wanting to tell her about our little secret, but I don't think she could stand it at her age. I'm all she has. It would kill her. Our little secret. What little secret?
I thought I was going to be posted to Northern Ireland. It could be really dangerous. There's been so many bombs.
Wilder carries on reading the letter.
I'm only here for 5 days, but already it seems an age. I know we'll be together on my next leave in February. I can't tell you how much my heart swells with longing. Oh, my dearest sweet boy. Without you, my life has no interest at all, no flavour at all. All the joy and colour has gone. My dearest sweet boy. Is that what you call a friend? Even a very good friend? This is a love letter, admit it?
No.
Of course it bloody well is. Why do you go on denying it? There are others. There are many, many others.
He goes to the bag and pulls out a fistful of letters. He reads lines from different letters at random.
My dearest darling. My one and only joy. Your skin is like the softest silk. You are the light of my life. Last night, when we lay together, What the hell are you playing at?
Lights change again. Duggan goes to the audience.
Last night when we lay together, I remember where I wrote that. Paddington Station. My skin was glowing. I could feel your kisses on my back. I blushed as I wrote it. I was sure everyone could tell. How could anyone know such happiness? It had to show on my face, in my eyes.
The lights change. A cheap hotel in Paddington. Fraser enters to Duggan. He is stripped to the waist.
In a cheap knocking shop?
Well, it was, wasn't it? You could take a room by the hour.
But we had all night. And the next day. And night.
I'd never let anyone do that before.
It slipped in like it was fated.
It hurt at first.
But I held you, licked you, and kissed the hairs on the nape of your neck till you were relaxed.
And we were one. That's how it seemed. We became a single person. I loved you so much.
I love you too, my angel.
My life.
I never wanted to be parted. I can't stand much more of this. The furtiveness, the fear.
The fear is my fault.
We will conquer fear.
They kiss passionately.
It doesn't have to be for long, this life of longing. I can be out in a year. I will be 36. We can have over 40 years together.
50.
More than half a lifetime.
I can be out in 2 years.
2 years? I'll be 37. How can I stand to wait?
Be patient, darling. You'll get a job as a music teacher. You'll find us a flat to share. Somewhere nice.
Somewhere nice. Anywhere is nice with you. Anywhere without you is a hell of loneliness and longing.
I can join an orchestra or band. Perhaps the BBC. It's full of pubs.
I'm sure you're good enough.
Maybe you can join them too.
It would be good to play together.
We're playing together now.
They kiss.
Not like that. Be serious.
I am. You don't know how serious I am.
I couldn't get an orchestra. I'm nowhere near as good as you.
Fraser takes a ring off his finger. He grabs Duggan's hand and tries to put the ring on his marriage finger.
Here. This was my granddad's.
Duggan reacts as if it was red hot.
No, people will ask. I'll have to explain it. I'll have to lie.
I never want to lie.
You're different. I'm too old.
All right, Grandpa.
He puts the ring back on his finger, takes a chain with a cross on it from around his neck, puts it around Duggan's.
You can explain this. Say you won it in a church raffle.
That sounds ridiculous.
Okay. Say you got it for being shagged rotten by a member of the Black Mafia. Tell them it's the wages of sin, and sin pays very well.
Now you're being stupid.
It was from my mum. She gave it me before she died. I want you to feel me against your skin every moment of the day.
Lights change. Back to the interrogation. Wilder is in shadow.
The postmark is Waterloo, dated 4th of June, 1982.
I remember that so well. He slipped out of the room with one last look. We smiled. I sat there on the rumpled bed and looked around the faded, peeling walls with patterns of forget-me-nots. I wondered when we'd meet again. No more leave till autumn. Military bands are always busy in the summer. Parks, bandstands, end of the pier, kids with ice creams playing soldiers. old codgers dozing on the benches, a nice little Eleanor sweating in the sun. I wrote down all my feelings, white hot from my heart.
I can feel your tongue in my mouth, your teeth nibbling at my neck.
I had a fancy writing case, a gift from my mates on my 30th. It felt good to take it out, the platinum pen, to hear it scratching on the Basildon bond, the words shaping under the nib, strong and sure with love.
In the mirror, I can see the marks on my shoulders where you held me. Your muscles were so firm, your biceps under your skin, under a skin so soft.
I couldn't bear to dress.
The marks will fade, the red will fade under my clothes. Even while I go about the business of the world, I do not want to put my singlet on while I can see the marks and feel your presence. Well.
Eventually, I forced myself to dress, paid the bill, popped the letter in the letterbox at Waterloo on the way to platform 5 and Portsmouth. All right, have it your way. I only wanted to keep his name from publicity, protect his family. What does it matter now he's dead?
It matters to those left behind. We must make examples of rotten apples for other rotten apples still lurking in the basket.
For the sake of his family, they must remember him as they saw him at his best. Why should they be told? Why should they be held up to scorn? Adam Fraser, martyr to the IRA and screaming pansy.
Conduct prejudicial to good order and discipline. Don't worry, we can't try a soldier once he's dead.
You would though, wouldn't you? If you could, drag his name through the mud.
I don't think so. Wouldn't do the army any good, putting wrong ideas in people's heads. We might get all the wrong types of recruits for all the wrong reasons.
I joined the Royal Marines because the men were more handsome and the uniforms were more sexy.
Try telling that to your court martial. Can't see that going down very well.
Court martial?
Your discharge hearing then.
And Adam's name?
Corporal. This hearing's confidential. We're not monsters. You can be represented.
I don't need to be represented. My life is over.
As you wish.
Lights fade. Duggan slowly comes forward to address the audience again.
There was no internet, of course. Not then, back in 1982. Hard to remember a time without it. There were letters. Only letters.
Scene 7, the barracks. Trossley rushes in. He carries a post bag containing letters.
Been to the postie and picked up the mail.
Anything for me?
Eager beaver, aren't you? Expecting something?
Might be.
Meet someone on leave, did we?
None of your business.
You did!
Give it here.
Give what here?
My letter. I know you've got my letter.
Might have.
Don't be such a prick.
Language!
Give it here.
Trossley reaches in his bag. While he does so,
I think there may be something here. I seem to remember.
Stop dragging it out.
Isn't this exciting? Oh, I feel like Santa Claus.
Get on with it.
You must really be in love.
he finds the letter and holds it out, snatches it away when Duggan goes to grab it.
What's her name?
What?
A fair exchange. One letter, one name.
If you must know, it's my sister.
Is that all? Why so much excitement?
She's expecting a baby. It could be any day now.
If the baby had arrived, she would have called.
She's in the Hebrides.
They have phones.
The Outer Hebrides.
Well, if you won't, you won't. Here you are, Uncle. You're no fun.
He exits. Duggan tears open the letter and starts to read it excitedly. Fraser appears in a spotlight on the opposite side of the stage.
My dearest, dearest darling, my sweet, hot man.
My sweet, hot man. Even thinking of you as I write, I get excited. My cock is hard. My Y-front's wet with pre-cum.
I go back over in my mind our last weekend. Every moment. The lagers from the off-licence, the takeaway pizzas.
I never wanted to get out of bed the whole weekend.
Darling, I'm worried for you.
If you're sent to the Falklands,
If you're sent to Northern Ireland,
the rumour is they'll send me in the Marines if it goes on much longer. Those RGs are tougher than people think.
danger in every street corner, snipers, unexploded bombs.
It could go on for months, years.
If anything would happen,
We could all be dragged.
what would I do then?
I'm quite excited. I've got my first band concert in Regents Park, July the 20th. I get to do 2 solos from Oliver by Lionel Bart. The arranger thinks that little Oliver is worth a flute, all frail and wistful. I'll do my best to make you proud of me, like I am proud of you.
I am proud of you.
So proud,
So proud.
so proud of you.
The music breaks off abruptly. In the silence, Duggan takes a lighter out of his pocket and sets fire to the letter. He watches it burn.
I leave no traces, but the traces in my heart.
Lights change. Duggan at a table with his writing set. He is writing back to Fraser.
My dear angel, I am so nervous for you. Today is your big day. I know the bandstand well in Regents Park by the boating lake. I hope it's a fine day and no wind to blow your music about.
Fraser appears in his quarters. He is cleaning and preparing his dress uniform for the concert. As he cleans his waist belt.
I put the button stick behind the buckle, silvo tarnish guard, metal polish wadding, and then a cloth. The jacket is just back from the cleaners, so I have no need. Nerves, I suppose. Displacement activity. I want it to be perfect. I want to do you proud.
I know you'll do me proud. I wish I could be there
I wish you could be here to hear my
to
song.
hear your solo.
Fades to black. Lights go up abruptly. A clang of an alarm bell off stage. Trossley and Duggan run in.
What's happened? What is it?
Haven't you heard? The IRA, those bastards struck again.
Where?
Knightsbridge Barracks. When the Blues and Royals were going for the changing of the guard, there's a general alert. We must muster.
Any killed? How many killed?
Troopers? 3. I don't know about horses.
Horses?
It's a bomb, stupid. Household cavalry, changing of the guard. Of course they got some horses. I'll take a quick look as the telly in the mess, see if it's on the news.
He exits fast.
It was on the telly. Newsflash. 7 horses killed or put out of their misery. The TV doesn't show that. Oh, the smell of burnt horse flesh reeking in the nostrils. Oh, the dreadful screams that horses make when they are ripped apart. One horse fighting for his life. Sefton, 19 years old, chestnut, white flash down the muzzle, severed jugular, wounded in the eye, flayed by 6-inch nails. They rushed him from Hyde Park back to barracks. Emergency operation, 90 minutes. No one thought that he'd survive. The nation held its breath and forgot the troopers killed. We are animal lovers, not squaddy lovers.
Crossley comes running back.
There's been another bomb.
Where?
Regents Park,
Duggan almost collapses, speechless with horror.
at the bandstand.
Royal
Green
Green Jackets.
jackets. How did you know that?
I have a friend.
7 bandsmen killed.
Maybe, please God.
They were playing music from Oliver when the bomb went off underneath the bandstand.
The lighting fades on the periphery slowly until the spot is only on Duggan.
I mean, it's less than 2 hours after the other one. Already 3 dead and now another 7. Maybe more. All those people standing around or sitting in deck chairs listening to the music, then blown off their feet as bits of men and metal fly all around them. The order is we're confined to barracks. Fuck it. And you can see why, though really it's just as likely there's a bomb here somewhere as another in the park.
He must be one of them. The dead. He was at the front, forward for his solo, sweating in his rifle green jacket and his brushed forage cap.
I just want to get down there and be with them and help somebody. I just want to kill something!
After Crossley's explosion, only the solo flute. Then the solo flute is cut off abruptly in mid-phrase. They stand frozen, silent. Lights return to normal.
You all right, mate?
It's the shock. It's awful.
You look half dead yourself.
I'll be all right.
How well did you know him? This friend?
Hardly at all. More an acquaintance.
Doesn't look like it. You look like you lost a brother.
No, just a guy I met a few times at the Union Jack Club opposite the station.
You're sure you're okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
15 years service, but you never get used to it. Sudden death, the blood, the danger. I'll be all right.
You sure?
I'm sure.
You say so.
I'll be fine. It's awful, but it goes with the job. Right?
Right. I'll get us both some tea.
He exits. The lights change to a single spot.
I denied Adam. I denied him 3 times. I am Judas and Peter both. I am so ashamed.
Crossfades to the interrogation room again. Duggan sits at the table. Wilder enters carrying a briefcase. He opens the briefcase, extracts papers and places them on the table in front of Duggan.
We found many things of interest when we cleared his lockers.
We?
The officers bagged up all of his things. There were copies of Gay News and a membership card. Campaign for homosexual equality.
Fraser enters, a ghost.
Everybody knew. All my mates knew. They would have covered for us, but they didn't have the locker key. That bastard RSM, he took my key.
I told you. I warned you.
What did you say? Who are you talking to?
I always thought the RSM was gay, the way he looked at me.
Why did you keep things like those?
He fingers the chain around his neck.
This didn't need explaining.
What are you fingering that for?
I'm nervous. You'd be nervous.
Was it his? Did he give it to you?
Who?
Don't be simple. Fraser, did he give it to you?
No,
Say yes. Say yes.
it was a present from my mother.
Really?
What difference does it make? Nothing you can do will bring me back.
When did your mother give it to you?
He consults his notes.
She died in 1960. You were 13. Not the obvious present for a young lad.
She was religious. She hoped I'd be a priest.
Stop this. What's the point? Why are you ashamed of me?
No,
Well, then stop being ashamed of yourself.
We found a wedding ring on his hand. When we found his hand, did you give that to him?
No, his granddad.
You can say it.
A pause. Duggan struggles to tell the truth.
He tried to give it to me, but I wouldn't have it. I'm ashamed to say I turned him down, and so he gave me this instead.
Wilder attempts to grab the chain.
Give it here.
They briefly struggle.
I haven't taken it off all year.
It's evidence.
Fuck you.
Don't make things worse.
I'll give you a statement. What more do you want?
You can have it back later. I'll give you that ring too, if you'll help us. You can make my job easier. I'm not a bad bloke. I've known a few of your sort. You know, you're not bad blokes either. But we've got to keep up morale. And you are bad for discipline. We can't have all the lads watching their asses all the time.
Say something. You must. For my sake. If you don't, I'll never speak to you again. You don't deserve me. You don't deserve my memory.
Duggan takes a deep breath.
Do you seriously think I lusted for those beefy arses in the barracks? All those sweaty, stinking bumholes, all those rough, clumsy hands when I had the love of the most beautiful boy in the world? Would Romeo go with any old slapper when he had the love of Juliet?
Well, I'm not the female to your male.
Sorry, but I'm new to this. I don't have the words.
I will give you the words. People think it's all about sex.
People think it's all about sex.
But it's more than that.
It's more than that.
It's quiet confidence and company, sharing lives together.
It's living with and for each other. It's being an item.
Fraser slowly leaves. Duggan follows with his eyes.
Wanting to proclaim that we're an item.
Duggan turns his attention to Wilder.
And yes, there's sex as well. The sex was fan-fucking-tastic.
Careful, lad.
I'm through with being careful. We had sex more than you can imagine, and more than it seemed possible. We fucked each other to exhaustion, and then we fuck again. And nothing you can say or do can take away the memory of one single moment of our happiness.
Are you prepared to sign a statement to that effect?
Why? Why should I make your job easy?
It makes your life easier too.
My life can never be easier.
And what about the boy, his reputation, his family? If you confess and say that you led him on...
That's not true.
Which is more important? Truth or reputation? Truth or family feelings?
A long pause. Then Duggan slowly strips the insignia and the medal ribbon bar from his uniform. He hands it to Wilder.
What do you think?
Thank you.
But only in my own words.
Agreed. You can write it in your cell.
He gives Duggan some paper, salutes him. Duggan refuses to salute back. Wilder smartly about turns and exits. The lights fade. In the darkness, a priest intones a funeral oration off stage as music plays, incorporating excerpts from the last post.
Adam paid the ultimate price for serving his country by giving his life. His sacrifice and that of all the other soldiers who died allows us to live the life we lead in freedom. It takes a special kind of person to face the possibility of war and death, especially a death that will save the lives of people you have never even met. John chapter 15, verse 13 says, "Greater love hath no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends." Just as Jesus sacrificed his life so that we may be free, so too did Adam. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart, says Psalm 34. Remembering our lost loved ones can be painful, especially if the grief is still fresh. But if you pour your hurt out to the Lord, you can feel his comforting embrace upon you.
The lights come up again. Fraser is in an open coffin on a trestle. Duggan enters. He is now in civvies, a sober suit. He has a red and a white poppy in his buttonhole and is also wearing a pink triangle. He moves forward to look down at Adam's face. Very slowly, he bends over and kisses him, long and passionately. He stands up straight, salutes him. He takes the triangle off his lapel and lays it on the coffin. He turns and marches to the edge of the stage. The lights fade on the coffin, leaving a single spot for Duggan.
That was nearly 20 years ago. 20 years I had to fight. No pension, no medals, nothing left. I couldn't get a job. No school would have me, not with my dishonourable discharge. I couldn't keep it quiet. And then there was Section 28. 4 years it took to get a job as a night shift cleaner, lowest of the low. And all those years they fobbed me off, the MOD. Excuses, evasions, nothing changed. 300 soldiers went in 1999, kicked out for the old story. Conduct prejudicial to good discipline. It took the European Court of Human Rights to bring sanity, compassion. Regents Park's forgotten now. There's a plaque, but otherwise you'd never know. Find it on the internet. Hundreds of photos of the Hyde Park horses and bloody Sefton, but almost nothing of the bandstand. Nasty bit of work, that Sefton. Always biting jockeys. He had a handler's fingers off. That's why they called him Sharky. Hopeless for a soldier's horse. Kept trying to pass him off on other regiments, but still a hero as he lived through sheer bloody-mindedness, unlike Adam.
General stage lights start slowly to grow.
I don't regret being dismissed. In spite of all the hurt, it outed me. It took me to the place I wanted but could never dare to go. Until then, I could never show my sorrow. I couldn't mourn the partner I had lost, my life partner, for such a little while, for such a shortened life. A soldier faces to the front to look life in the eyes, both friend and foe. It will not do, always looking back over your shoulder, living in fear of discovery. I hadn't any feelings. I was only half a man until I was dismissed.
Stage is now fully lit.
So thank you, Major Wilder.
He turns towards the coffin.
And thank you, oh my darling. Adam, my love, thank you.
Duggan produces a pink triangle wreath.
Thank you. Thank you.
He lays the wreath as the lights fade to blackout. The end.